Do you want to feel good or do you want to get good? I'm Martin. I've been a dating and relationship coach for over 17 years. And today we're going to talk about the problems of the red pill. In the movie The Matrix, when Neo takes the red pill, he wakes up to this horrifying reality of human slavery and the fact that the world has been destroyed because of the war between the machines and humans. And the red pill community has taken this analogy and applied it to the dating world to imply that the reality of the dating world is that it's this horrible dystopian universe where men are enslaved and being drained of everything and just used. And this is so ridiculous. That is like not at all what's going on. The reality is that women want certain outcomes in life on average, right? You know, they want to have a family, they want to have kids, they want to have a stable relationship, they want to have an enjoyable sex life, they want to have financial stability. And men have things that they want also. And a lot of the things that women want are exactly the things that a lot of men want. Now, they may want them in different proportions. You know, men generally are more interested in having an exciting sex life versus how interested they are in having kids, for example. But men generally want financial stability. They want many men, maybe even most men, want to have a family at some point in their lives. So these things are, it's not like, you know, women want something that men don't want, and because of that, there's no room for compromise, and, you know, men are this oppressed class of that's just, you know, being sucked dry to the advantage of women. Now, are there women out there that are really horrible? Yes, absolutely. There are women out there that are really horrible. However, if you learn the skills of dating and relationships, these horrible women will not want to be with you. And I'm saying this from my own personal experience. I've dated some crazy ass bitches. Not some. I mean, really, there have only been like 3. And even those 3, at least 2 of them were not really bad women. They were just women who had problems that, because of those problems, were a real drain on my ability to have an enjoyable, successful relationship with them. And there were plenty of signs. But because at that time, I didn't have the skills and the abilities and the knowledge to be able to have my choice of women, I was with these women rather than women who would have been much better. And I'm not saying that these women never got their act together. From what I know, at least one of them eventually got her act together, was successful in the academic world, had a family, and as far as I know, it's going well for her. And so everyone, not everyone, well, yes, everyone has problems in their life. Some people have harder problems that take longer to overcome, and some people never put in the time and effort to overcome. Maybe some people watching this video are in that category. You know, I've met plenty of guys who never took the time to actually solve their problems and just spent their time feeling superior by looking at videos talking about all the problems that women have and didn't take the time to actually just get to work fixing their own problems. And that meant that, you know, some of the guys that I worked with, you know, they didn't show up until they were in their late 20s or early 30s. But hey, you know what? They did show up and they did start to fix their problems. And then that meant that they had great relationships later. You know, I had clients who they didn't get to this stuff for a long time because they were drug addicts, they were alcoholics, and they needed to fix those problems first. And because they, you know, were sucked into this life of substance abuse, they didn't develop the social skills they needed. And it took them a long time to get to the point where they could have stability in their income and in their life in general, where they could be a reliable partner. And so, you know, these are guys who women women probably met them when they were all messed up, and they could have gone, oh, men are terrible, oh, I'm never going to be with a man again, they're awful, they're fucked up or whatever. But it was just these guys who had whatever problems that they had that led them into this world of substance abuse, and it took them some time, and they eventually got over it, and then they were able to have successful relationships and have successful families later. And so in the same case with women, people, generally speaking, don't want to be fucked up. They want to get these things, and to get these things that we're talking about, they need to become a certain type of person, and they need to be that certain type of person because unless they have those good qualities, they're not going to find someone who wants to be with them. I mean, how many people want to be divorced? I mean, before they actually get married. How many people say, oh, you know what would be great if we got married and then everything was a disaster and we got divorced? Nobody thinks that way. Everyone wants their marriage to work out. And most people don't enter even into a relationship and say, you know what, I hope this relationship is really fucked up. I hope he beats me. I hope she takes all my money. Like, no one goes into and she's not going in like, oh, you know what, I'm going to take all his money. I mean, are there some women that are out there that are like that? Of course. But if you do things right, then you're not going to find these women. I have plenty of clients who are very wealthy. They never date women who are just trying to take all their money off them. And when they meet women that are like that, those women get eliminated very, very quickly because they realize that these guys aren't bad enough at relationships that they're going to end up walking away with all the money. They're not easily manipulated men. And so they aren't going to stick around. And good riddance, because you don't want to waste a bunch of time on the wrong women. And the same thing for me, once I got better with women, I didn't have crazy chicks showing up because they recognized that they needed to take their crazy somewhere else because I wasn't going to put up with it. So of course it's true that there are a lot of people out there that are going to be bad partners. However, once you know these skills and you learn them, rather than sitting around talking about how bad women are and how bad the dating world is and how the system takes advantage of men, I'm not trying to say that these things are not true or that these things don't exist. But what I'm saying is that there are plenty of people who go out and have successful relationships. And the way to be one of them isn't to sit around bitching and moaning about the situation. The situation is not that we're living in this scorched earth environment where women are out to destroy you emotionally and financially. Like, it's not what's going on. The situation is that people want certain things and they can't reach compromises successfully. And that's partially on her and that's partially on you. Or you could say that it's 100% on you because you picked her in the first place. Now, if you didn't pick her and she picked you because you're not in a position to pick, well, that's your fault too. Now, when I say it's your fault, I'm not saying that to blame you or to try and make you feel bad. I'm saying that to say that it means that you can take control of that situation and fix it so that you are no longer in that position in the future. And that's really the key thing to understand is, can you control everything? No. Some people who smoke get cancer and some people who smoke don't get cancer. But we do know that the people who don't smoke are far less likely to get cancer. So you can quit smoking if you really want to. Is it easy? No, I'm not saying it's easy, but it's something that you can do. That's something that Jim Rohn used to say. He said that when it comes to any kind of challenge, it doesn't mean that it's not going to be hard, but it means that it's something you can do because there are definitely steps that you can take that will move you in the direction of accomplishing whatever it is you seek to accomplish. Okay? Is it hard to do 100 push-ups? Yes. Is it something you can do? Well, not today. But could you do it 6 months from now? Of course you could. Or as Jim Rohn would say, of course. David Goggins is another person who talks a lot about this, right? He came from a really bad situation. His family life wasn't good. He didn't have the right mindsets to be successful, and he didn't have many role models of success to follow either. But he realized that the only way to move forward in life was to take responsibility, even while acknowledging that his situation was way worse than it was for a lot of other people. The ultimate thing is that you have to be the person who takes responsibility for yourself and your life. Recognize that, there are things that are tough for you or that are easier for other people. But that doesn't mean that you can't do your part and put in the effort that you can put in. If you do your part, then you're guaranteed to have the best outcomes possible.